Okay, we're going to take a look at this internet radio. Just in case you're not 100% sure of what internet radio actually is, this radio is actually going to play radio stations that are broadcast over the internet, basically. So don't confuse this with a DAB radio, whereas obviously you don't need an internet connection. You're going to need an internet connection, and you're going to need a Wi-Fi signal to be able to play internet radio from this. So I've already connected this up to my Wi-Fi network. It wasn't too difficult to do. The instructions are relatively clear, and how to connect that up. So that's all good to go. I'll just initial thoughts on the radio itself. It feels a little bit cheap, if I'm honest. The little buttons, they're not wobbly or anything like that. It's just the overall sort of appearances. It's just a little bit of a cheap sort of feel to it. But apart from that, the thing actually seems to work pretty well. So we'll just turn that on. It's just going to take a few seconds there when it sort of connects up to the network and does what it's doing. So just while it's doing that, I will show you the back. So there is a power in for the power adapter there. Obviously there's a battery inside, and you'll get a good few hours out of this on battery charge. There's also a line out. So yes, this has only got one speaker in the front. If you wanted to listen to anything at any decent sort of volume, it does go pretty loud, but if you wanted to go for any sort of rock stations and you really wanted to get your room rocking or what have you, then you'd have to use a line out cable and connect that to a larger speaker system. But we're connected up now. We're actually streaming some radio stations now. So connected to Radio 2 at the minute. There are presets. There's your preset button there. So you've got a few to pick from there. These are ones I've already put in. If you want to search for another station in particular, so you come onto this, it's internet radio. There's also a media center on this, which means you can actually stream music that is stored on your PC. Now I can't actually show you this working because I actually have a Mac, and I don't have a PC, so it's a bit of a downside with this. I can't actually stream from my Mac from this, but it's one of those things. So if you've got a Mac and you want to use this for streaming music from, you're going to be disappointed. You need a PC for that, and there are instructions in the guide there of how to do that. So we'll go through how to find a radio station. We'll just turn that down for a moment. So you'd go into the menu button, and then you turn this knob to internet radio. Push the button, and you can search SkyTune. Click on that. So if you know what the radio station that you want to listen to, what it begins with, then you can select that option. So it begins with, and say we wanted to install BBC Radio 1 or something like that. So we'd select B. Click OK. So it begins with B. So you get all radio stations there that begin with B that are going to be from all over the world. So we'll just turn this round until we get to B and then B. So we've got BBC Radio. We've got BBC Radio 1. I'll go for this high one. I'm assuming that's high quality. Click on that. Right, so we're connected up to Radio 1 now. If you want to add this to your favourites, you push the preset button, hold that until you get a little sort of arrow thing appearing on the screen there. If you push and hold that, there's your little arrow. So that's now stored in your favourites now. So if you go into menu, my favourite, click on that, there's your BBC Radio 1. So that's in there. So we'll just we're about third volume there. I will turn this this up fully. I'll just put that down while I do. It is actually stable on the table once you put it down. Oh, it does go pretty loud. So it does go pretty loud. There are, just turn this back now, there are different sound sort of settings you can put this on. If you go into configuration and then at the bottom to equalizer, you can change between different types of sort of sounds, if you will, like you want pop or dance or jazz, that sort of thing. I find the rock is pretty decent for what I want to listen to. You can actually go down to advanced and actually adjust the different sort of parts of the sound, if you will. It's basically the graphic equalizer at the bottom. I have had a mess around with that, but to be honest, I find that the rock setting for me is fine anyway. So there's a bit of tinkering there if you want. Buffer time, if you're finding that the playback is kind of buffering and stopping, it does come set by default at either 2 or 3 seconds. I can't remember which. I think it's 2, but you can adjust that up to 5 seconds, and it just basically puts it will delay the internet stream by about 5 seconds, and it will keep sort of a 5-second buffer of data in the thing. So if there is any problem with your internet connection or anything, if it does drop out for a split second, or you've not got the best Wi-Fi signal in the world, if it's a bit patchy, rather than it just stopping and waiting to download some more information, it does keep a small buffer in there just to try and smooth out any problems. But I've had no problems with this with buffering at all. It was fine on 2 seconds, but I just defaulted it to 5. So overall, it's pretty decent. It plays rock solid, no problem at all. It goes loud enough. I mean, it's probably ideal for a kitchen or something like that. You would certainly won't want it any louder than it goes for a kitchen, I'm sure. Again, you've only got the single sort of mono speaker, so you're not going to get stereo sound, but it sounds adequate. It sounds fine. The only downside of the thing that I would suggest is it just feels and looks a little bit cheap. So make of that what you will. I mean, your opinion might be different than mine, but apart from that, it's not too bad. Yeah. So when you go.